Okay, here's some examples from day 54. Here they want us to enter the equation of a circle with a given center and radius. So the standard form of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, where h and k are the center and r is the radius. So when you substitute, the double negative turns this into x plus 5 squared plus y minus 7 squared is equal to 3 squared. So you leave the left side as x plus 5 squared and y minus 7 squared, but 3 squared is 9, so that's what we're going to put in. So x plus 5 squared plus y minus 7 squared is equal to 9. Okay, same thing here. So this is going to be then x minus 3 squared plus y minus 0 squared is equal to square root of 6 squared. The x minus 3 squared stays the same, but y minus 0 is just y, so this will become y squared, and square root of 6 squared is just 6. A square cancels out a square root. So x minus 3 squared plus y squared equals 6. Okay, so now it starts to get a little more challenging because now they give us the equation, and we just have to put it in standard form and then pick the graph. The graph part will be simple. It's getting the equation into standard form because this involves something called completing the square. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that on one side that you have only terms that have variables. So to do that, I have to get rid of this minus 7 by doing plus 7. So that would then give me x squared minus 2x. Let me even change the colors for you. Plus y squared minus 2y, and then that equals 7. So the way that you complete the square is you have to get the term that is linear. This like the negative 2x. I'm saying just get the negative 2, and then here get the negative 2. Here it just happens to be a coincidence that they're the same, and we're going to divide by 2 and then square. So here I'm going to go negative 2 divided by 2 and then square. Negative 2 divided by 2 and then square. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1, squared is 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. So what I want to do is to each little group, I want to add that number. So here I'm going to go plus 1, then plus y squared minus 2y plus 1. But if I added it to the left side of the equation, I have to add both of them to the right side. Once this happens, now I can go ahead and write this in standard form. It's going to be 1 parentheses with a square plus 1 parentheses with a square. On this side, 7 plus 1 is 9. So I'm going to write x. I'm going to borrow the sign in the middle, so minus. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically, long story short, what you're going to do is you're going to write the numbers that were here. Maybe that's a better way of explaining it. So x minus 1 and x minus 1. Oh, sorry, that should be a y minus 1. So let's go ahead and write that. Well, actually, they don't want the equation here. Okay, they just want the center. So, okay, the center is going to be then, if it's x minus 1, then 1 is the center for the x. 1 is the center for the y. And the radius is not going to be 9 because the 9 is the radius being squared. So the square root of 9 is 3. The radius is 3. So when I look at these pictures, I'm looking for the circle that has a center at 1, 1, and that goes 3 in every direction. Meaning it should go up to 4, to the right, all the way to 4, down to -2. It looks like that's going to be C. Okay, same type of problem. Let's move any constants to the other side, so -13 and -13. So I would have then x squared plus 8x plus y squared plus 2y would then be equal to -13. I'll use that formula, 8 divided by 2 squared. You're always dividing by 2. Here it's 2 divided by 2 squared. So this gives me 4 squared, which is 16. This gives me 1 squared, which is 1. So when I rewrite this, I'm going to write x squared plus 8x plus 16 plus y squared plus 2y plus 1. And then if I added a 16 and a 1, I have to add it to the other side. So -13 plus 16 plus 1. Now I can go ahead and factor 1 parenthesis square on the outside plus another parenthesis square on the outside, and on this side I get 4. So I'm going to write x, and then I had a positive 4 up here, so x plus 4. I'm going to write a y up here. I had a positive 1, so plus 1. So that means my center is going to then be at -4, not at positive 4, at -4 and -1. And then the radius is not 4, it's the square root of 4, which is 2. So which one of these has a center at -4, -1, and it goes 2 in every direction? So that would be -4, so it would go all the way to -2. And if it's going there, it would go over. So, okay, it's got to be C. C would be the one. Complete the proof that the point square root of 4 comma -1 does or does not lie on circle centered around the origin and containing the point 2 comma 0. Okay, so the radius of the circle would be, if it's centered around the origin and it contains the point 2, 0, that means you can use distance formula, but that's going to end up giving you 2, because from the origin to 2, 0 is 2 units. So the radius is 2. The equation of the circle would then be, since it's centered around the origin, then x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared is equal to 2 squared, would just be x squared plus y squared is equal to 4. So that's what I'll write in. X squared plus y squared equals 4. Plugging in the test point, so that's the point that they're giving us, and simplifying gives us square root of 4 squared plus -1 squared would then have to be equal to 4. So that would give us then 4 plus 1 would have to equal 4. I'm guessing that's what they want there. Let's see, 4 plus 1 would have to equal 4. So the point does not lie on the circle because it doesn't. 4 plus 1 is not 4. Okay, drag and drop the numbers into the boxes to complete this. So the equation of the circle is, well, let's see where the center is at. The center appears to be here at -3, 1. So it would say normally x plus 3, but since they have a minus there, that would be x minus -3. Then it would be, since it's at positive, since it's at, the center's at +1, then I would write x minus 1. And the radius, if I count in each direction, is going to be 2. I'm going 2 boxes in each direction, 1, 2 in every direction, so that would be 2 squared, which would be 4, but since they have the square written, I would leave it as 2 squared.